Okay, so my name is Sally Dymond. We're right on 8 o'clock here on my watch, so we'll get started. Welcome to tonight's call. Tonight we're going to share some information with you that some of you may know, some of you may not know, and I would like you to keep an open mind and just take a listen to the information because I might challenge you on just a few things. And we're going to share my journey and a few other people's journey here on Redox. We're going to learn about what Redox is, how it's helped me in my clinic, and how it's helped my family. But my name is Sally Dymond. I am a double diamond with ASEA, and to those of you that don't know what that means, it just means I've been doing this for a little while. I've been involved now for 3 years. I've been using the products for exactly 3 years. Actually, today I just received a card from ASEA for my 3rd birthday, which was lovely. It's a handwritten card from the CEO and the president. So I'm going to share what I know. So here we go. Maybe. So this is some of the things that I love to do. I've been a therapist for 27 years. I started out as a swimmer. As you can see there, it says nearly made it Olympian. So in my early days, I was training very hard, 4 to 5 hours a day in the pool, running, gym, and consequently, I just missed the Olympics in 1992 for Barcelona by 0.04 of a second. So devastating on many levels. It wrecked my body, it wrecked my spirit, and it wrecked my soul. So in that process, of course, I had to rebuild myself, and I did that through alternate medicine. That's what really inspired me to start my journey in alternative medicine, and that's eventually what healed me. So I studied acupuncture, remedial massage, sports injuries, structural balancing, Chinese medicine. I went to Thailand and learnt Thai massage. I've been to China and learnt Chinese massage. I worked on a cruise ship for 8 months, sailed around the world, which was amazing. That led to my travel addiction. I've been to over 125 countries and really stopped counting. So I'm lucky enough now that I get to go back to travel and start to see some more places in the world and go back to some of the places that I had visited before. And that's really part of my journey with ASEA that's enabled me to be able to do that. I love to inspire people, motivate people, and my one thing is that I'd like people to change just one thing, because it's impossible to go about changing too many things at a time. If you can change just one thing and stick at it, and then change another thing and stick at it, that's how you're really going to change your life. So I'll share some of those things with you tonight on the things that I started to change in my life and where that led me. So I was a 50-meter swimmer. I swam 50 meters, 1 lap, 1 breath. I did it really fast, not as fast as they do today, but 26 seconds. And, you know, I do everything in life fast. So I get up really early, 5:30 in the morning. And before breakfast is cooked, before everyone leaves in the morning, I've pretty much done breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I go about my day. So today I have a really busy clinic. I'm fully booked every day of the week, and there's someone standing in front of me or on the phone or in my presence almost every minute of every day. So I get my solitude, my peace and quiet in the morning when I get up and I practice yoga and watch the sunrise. So if that's not in your practice, then start getting up early. That's the most beautiful time of the day. So every second counts, and you never ever know what's going to happen next. So you have to make the most of life and what you're doing with your life. So my motto is get in, get it done, and get out of there. So that's pretty much how I run my whole life. And when I first came across the ASEA products, I was not interested like some of you. I was skeptical. I didn't believe it. You know, I'm always on the lookout for something that works, that's something that helps someone to heal fast. And quite frankly, I didn't know how just 1 tube of gel was going to do that. But like I said, I like to inspire people and motivate them to, you know, do what they love. So if you're sitting there and you hate your job and you hate where you live and you hate the house you live in and you hate, you know, so many different things, then hate's a really strong word. And if you're spending a lot of your time hating something, then you really need to start changing something. So you can be in a place where you're just stuck, or you can get out of that place and start moving. So you can't change everything all at once, but you can start to change some little things first. So, you know, I've done some crazy things in my time, and I'm always looking to scare myself and do something different, do something that's challenging, whether it's on a physical level or a business level or an emotional level, but always strive to be doing something to change yourself so that you can grow. You can only grow when you start to put yourself in a position that's scary. For me, doing this triathlon here was kind of scary, I guess. It was one of my goals I set back in grade 9. And it was in the early days where I really just wanted to do the Noosa Triathlon. It was a 1.5K swim, a 40K ride, and a 10K run. And I went to a swim coach to train me for that event. And during that conversation, he took one look at me in the pool and he said, "You're not a triathlete, you're a swimmer." And that's when my swimming career really started. I didn't even complete that triathlon. But 22 or 25 years later, here I was in a position when someone said to me, "You should really do the Noosa Triathlon." And I said, "Well, it's on my bucket list. I'm not getting any younger. I really should do that." So, it kind of came to the forefront, and it was really only because of ASEA that I was able to get up and actually contemplate or think about that. Because after my swimming career ended with illness and chronic fatigue and me being very sick, I then started studying in college, and I then started treating patients, and it's quite taxing on the therapist when they're giving all the time. So I'm giving. And, on the weekends, there wasn't a lot left in energy or motivation for myself. So when I started to use some of these ASEA products, I started to get my energy back. And that was a really, really big thing for me. So when people would say, "Why don't you do some of these stupid things?" I actually had the energy on the weekends to go and do it. So some of the things I love to do is hanging out with my family. We're very active. We're on bikes. We're climbing mountains. We're hiking. We're always pushing ourselves and trying to get the very best out of everything that we do. So one of the questions I might ask you tonight is, why are you here? So someone's invited you here tonight to take a look at this. Maybe you're struggling with your health. Maybe you know someone that's struggling with their health. Maybe you're just looking for optimal health, or you just want to be in the best health that you can possibly be. So that's, for me, I didn't really have a health challenge. I had a challenge in the fact that I wanted more energy and I wanted more hours in the day, and I really couldn't achieve and do everything that I wanted to do. But I had a bit of a skin challenge, if that's classified as a health challenge. It was red, it was irritated, it was rough, and I could never get on top of it. So that's what inspired me to reach out to this person that had told me about ASEA. And it took me 9 months for me to actually bite the bullet and actually try the product. So it was just a tube. What was I hanging on to? Why was I waiting? When really it was just another product that could potentially do something. So I reached out, we tried it, and, we started to get some really amazing results, not just with my face and my skin, but with my husband, the children. And then I started to use it and share it with my clients. So, the next question I might ask is, do you want to live younger for longer? Well, of course, that aging process kicks in at 40. And when you're 40 and your joints go and your knees go and everything else starts to go, you wish you were younger, and you'll start to ponder the thought of, am I going to live like this, or is it going to get worse? And then you talk to a 60-year-old, and, we all want to live younger, longer. Some of you might be looking for an additional stream of income. You might want to change your lifestyle. You hate your job. You hate where you're at. You might just be looking for that change, or a side gig, or something else that you can do that you might be passionate about, or surround yourself with some really like-minded people. You're stuck in a bit of a rut. One of the things that happened to me, I was stuck in a rut. I was stuck in a rut with some people in groups of friends or social circles where I really wasn't happy. I'm the therapist. I'm the one that's always lifting people and raising people and helping people. But when I switch off from work mode, I like to be around people that are inspiring and motivating, not wanting me to pick them up and lift them up. So I kind of went on a journey where I retreated for a little while, and I kind of sat and prayed and asked the universe, and, really just asked for a group of like-minded people that I could surround myself with. And lo and behold, Renew and ASEA came into my life. And at the time, I didn't really know that it was anything more than a product. But what I got, I always call side effects now. So I got side effects of income, friends, family, travel, all of those things that meant a lot to me. And, if I never said yes to this, then there's a whole cascade of things that just wouldn't have occurred for me in my life. So let's have a little health lesson here. We'll go back to our cells, and we'll talk about what happens for you in your body. So in your body, you have systems, organs, tissues, cells. And at the finite level of, we break the cell down, we have redox signaling molecules. Those redox signaling molecules are the essence of life. There's about 20 of them. Without redox, we're dead. So it's as simple as that. When we start to lose redox within our cells, and that happens at the age of 40, that's why our eyes go and our knees go and everything else starts to go. By the time we're 60, we're we have less and less of these molecules as we go on. When they say you're terminal, it means you're just about out of redox, you're just about empty. So we live and die at that cellular level. When our cells are healthy, we are healthy. Cellular communication is the key to cellular health. So today we are talking about redox molecules, redox signaling molecules, and we're going to explain to you how they work, why they work, and how you can replenish them within your body. So like I said, beautiful picture here of the aging cycle from a baby born with trillions and billions of healthy, bouncing, beautiful cells full of redox. 40, we're at 50% production of these cells. That's when the aging kicks in. At 80 years old, we're at about 10% production of these cells. So as we age, think about when stress, when injury, when illness kicks in our bodies. When we're 40, we can kind of cope with it. We can kind of get up, bounce. We've got lots going on. We're usually very stressed. And at 80, if the same stress, workload, or injury occurs, the ability to heal and recover at that age is much, much harder than a 40-year-old. Similarly, a child that can have the stress and the injury that occurs will heal much, much faster than the 40-year-old. So you're getting the picture here of what happens as we age in correlation to the number of our molecules. So as we age, we produce fewer and fewer of these molecules. Now, you begin to see and feel the signs of those aging. So during this process, you have deficiencies and imbalances, and it's all happening at that cellular level. So when we break that cellular level down, we can say there's two components of those redox molecules. We have our reductants and we have our oxidants. And you can see 4 words there: detect, replace, protect, and repair. And this all happens deep down within our cells. And this is what helps us identify that we have a problem in the body. So that's the detection. It also helps us identify that that we need to repair on a cellular level. But if there's an invasion of viruses and bacteria, we need to have some protection to stop that invasion. So when we cut ourselves, we need to make sure that we're not being invaded by all these viruses and bacteria. And that's essentially the job of the redox. So our reductants, they carry the messages that tell your cells to activate antioxidants to fight free radicals caused by exposure to toxins, pollutants, stress, and poor diet choices. Antioxidants fight these free radicals. We produce antioxidants inside of our cells, and they're the most important things, the ones that we actually produce inside of our cells. Now, some of us take antioxidant supplements and we replenish via a nutritional supplement. But if we aren't making enough of these redox molecules, these antioxidants that we take cannot work properly unless work regardless of whether our cells make them or we take them in supplement form. So it's important to understand that without redox molecules inside of our cells, antioxidants cannot work efficiently. And we need these antioxidants to prevent cell damage and disease. Now, the oxidants, which is the other component of our redox molecule, they're responsible for enabling proper cell communication within your body to ensure optimal performance of the immune system. And our immune system is the #1 system of the body, really, that we need to have functioning and working properly. That's what's really helping protect us from all of these serious illnesses that are out there. They help our immune system communicate so that it can protect us from these harmful bacteria, virus, infection. They help kill parasites, fungus, and even regulate the destruction of the unhealthy rogue cells that are in our body. So in simple terms, these molecules are made in our body, in our cells, and they're made from salt water. So if you were to think back to science class where you've got your Krebs cycle and you've got your mitochondria produce, they're the power plants of the cell, and they produce energy, which is called ATP. In this process, the mitochondria also produce these redox signaling molecules. They're made from salt water, and that's what is the essence of what's in our cell. If you were to think about everything in your body that comes out of your body, your sweat and your tears, your saliva, it's all saline. So there's only one place in the world that you can get redox molecules, and that's from ASEA. It's the only company that has a stable, complete, balanced set of redox molecules. So those words are really, really important, and you'll understand why soon. So these redox molecules, they regulate every major system of the body at that basic cellular level. So if you can keep every system of your body functioning, and at its optimal level, then at the cellular redox level, then your tissues are healthy, your organs are healthy, your systems are healthy, and you are ultimately healthy. So if you're sitting there and you're experiencing problems in any one of these systems, your cardiovascular system, digestive system, immune system, your hormonal endocrine system, your skin system, many systems that make up the body here. Now, when we go to the doctor or a specialist will really only specialize in one area and one system. But when you look at this human structure here on the screen, we're not just one system. We're actually a complex network of many things that are all intertwined. So when I studied acupuncture, you learn meridians, you learn energy, how it flows around the body, you learn co-cycle, Krebs cycle, all the different cycles that happen within the body, and they're all interlinked and interrelated. But it all comes down to that cell. And if you have a functioning, healthy cell, then your body can actually function on all of these levels. So when someone says to you about ASEA, you know, what is it? Well, ASEA is basically redox cell signaling molecules. So as I said, they're the only company in the world that's been able to stabilize these molecules exactly the same as what's in your body. They're bio-native to the body, which means they're identical to what's in your cell. So if you think of your body and all of your systems as only half full and operating only at half speed, imagine what would happen if we filled up those cells to full capacity so that they were operating like they were when you were 10 or 12 or, you know, even 15 years old. You know, I look at my kids who are 9 and 11 and they go nonstop. They're like a racing machine that just, you wind them up and they can just keep going. And that's how you operate when you're full of redox. They fall over, they bounce, they hurt themselves, they cut themselves, and they get well again. So imagine if we could have that same capacity and we could keep our cells topped up. So when we turn that 40, lucky for me, I started to take these products when I turned 41. You know, I can keep my level of redox high now, which is explaining why I'm able to get up and run and do all these crazy activities that I'm now doing, is because I'm starting to act more like I was when I was 30 or when I was 20, when I was crazy traveling all over the world. So when someone says, what is it? It's redox signaling molecules. They've just replicated what's in our body, outside of our body, so we can replenish what's missing inside of our cells. And then they might say, well, what does it do? Well, the latest study that they've produced at the Tourette Labs, which is an independent third-party laboratory, they found that when you drink 60 mils of ASEA four times a day, that's the liquid version, it tells our cells what to say, and it actually turns our genes on in 5 systems of the body: our immune system, our cardiovascular system, our digestive system, inflammatory system, and our hormonal system. So if you have a problem in any one of those systems, then ASEA will help you to start to heal and recover and get that communication happening from cell to cell and get your genes actually speaking in the right language. So the really exciting thing about that is most health problems stem from inflammation. As a therapist of 27 years, I've been treating patients and clients from all walks of life, from babies right up to a 92-year-old I had a few weeks ago. I spent 5 years on the women's tennis circuit treating the tennis players, Venus and Serena and Navratilova, and all the women that you can think of. I was touching them and treating them. And they're all, you know, pushing themselves at such an extreme level that their bodies are breaking down. But they're no different to someone out there that's studying law or medicine or a fly-in, fly-out worker who's really going non-stop, and they're working, they're stressed, their diet's probably lacking, they're not getting enough sleep. It's the same thing. We're all breaking down on a different level. So when someone says to you, why do you need it? It's simple, because we are breaking down, we are stressed, we're living in a really toxic environment. You know, there's only some things that we can control. We can't control everything that's happening outside in our external world. We can start to control some things. So many years ago, I started to look at what we were eating and the things that were in our cupboard. And when I opened the cupboard and I saw all sorts of packaged goods and jars, and, you know, to make dinner, it was a stir fry that was made from a jar, you know, to have pasta and rice and all of these paper foods, I call them. It's not real food. So I started to go, how am I going to change what's happening and my habits? And one of the things I implemented was home fresh organics, and I added a box of food that would come to my house every week, and I had to make sure that that food was gone by the end of the week. So that was one thing I implemented. It was a box of organic fruit and veggies. I could change what was in and out of the box, and it came to my house, and I had to make sure it was gone by the end of the week. So I still do that today. It's my lifesaver. It saves me going to the grocery store, and I can add all sorts of things into that. So it's actually saving me time in having to go to the shops to buy the same kind of thing every week. It's just automated and it comes to my door. So when we talk about ASEA, let's have a look at what they actually offer. So when I first started, we had the Renew 28 gel. That was actually the second product that ASEA brought out. The first product was the ASEA Redox, the liquid. And but we started to use the gel here in Australia first. And as a therapist, that was my main thing, because I was just putting it on my body, my children's body, and I was using it on my clients as well. The next product that they came out with was the skincare system, and that's a really stronger concentration of the redox molecules. Comes in a smaller tube, and we use that on small areas of concern, predominantly our bags under our eyes, our lines and blemishes on our face, and also very good on scarring. So I predominantly use it on scarring. I don't really have too many lines on my face, thanks to Renew, and then they have that added that with the cleanser and the moisturizer. So that's a complete skincare system. They've just launched a new nutritional supplement, which I'm excited about because it's a whole food nutritional supplement, which means it doesn't contain anything organic, and the ingredients come from a whole food source. Almost impossible out there now in the world of nutrition to try and get the right combination with the right products in the right form, you know, with everything that you really want. You've got to take all of these products, and it adds up to cost a lot of money. So ASEA does it again. They've put a combination of really amazing things together, and it's not synthetic. It's all from a whole food base. So we're excited that that will come out to Australia in September, and we've been taking that now for a couple of months. So it's made a huge difference to add into the Redox, and the two of them, all of these products are designed to work together. So I was really interested in some trials and some science and using third-party independent laboratory. It's very important for me to find this information. And before I put my name to something and really promote it and send it out there to my community and to my clients, I flew to the States, and I wanted to see for sure that they were for real. It was a real company, it had real science, and that there were people that were actually getting real results. So I did that. I flew to the States, I went to their conference, and absolutely blown away by the people I met and the stories that I heard. But it had to be backed up by some of this clinical stuff. So what's the main thing that impressed me the most? It was this: it improves the skin blood flow after one application by 49%. Now, if you keep adding it to and putting it on, then the results go higher. But what happens is after that one application, you can see here 3 hours post-application and 48 hours post-application, we still see a marked increase in that skin blood flow. So for me as a therapist, I'm trying to get patients in and out very quickly. I don't want them lingering. I don't want them hanging around. I don't want their pain and injuries to be lasting a long time. They just want to be back to their life. So if I can introduce a product that works, that's easy to use, and that, you know, you don't really need a science degree or a brain to function or operate a machine. It's simply open the tube of gel and put it where it hurts or where the dysfunction is. So I started to experiment this firstly without telling my clients what I was doing. I would just rub it, and I would do some testing before and testing after, and I would watch their face and their body move. And, you know, it was quite astounding for me because I don't really suffer any discomfort or problems in that area, but to see my clients change and then be able to send them home with a tube, and it was like sending me home in their back pocket, where they could continue to apply this product to their areas of problem. And when I saw them a week later, a significant change in their healing had occurred. So it meant that they could reduce their time in the clinic, and they had something with them that when something happened, or they're about to go out and compete or run or do something, they had something they could do before and after to stimulate this blood flow and help them to heal. So it says it increases the cell renewal rate, 16% faster renewal over 28 days. It's called Renew 28 because the skin does renew itself every 28 days. So in a cycle of someone who is really damaged in their skin, you want to be able to bring their cycle back to 28 days. So you can see here some photographs. I like to look at the scarring. Scarring happens on the outside, also happens on the inside. When you're working with someone with lots of abdominal scarring or abdominal surgeries, their fascia becomes stuck, sticky, has an effect on their digestive system. Someone who's had mastectomies or, you know, major surgeries on any part of their body, their skin elasticity is not like it used to be. Another one of the science things that they showed was it increases skin elasticity by 20%. So, you know, really, really awesome to use post-surgery when you're trying to heal that adhesion and those, what do you call it? The elasticity of the skin. So it also works on those turkey necks that some ladies get, on, you know, any type of problem that you've got anywhere on your body. And it's not limited to your face. You can use Renew everywhere where your fingers go. So in our house, we use it on absolutely everything. It goes on sunburn, it goes on bites, it goes on, you touch the stove or you put your hand into something that you shouldn't and you get a reaction, then Renew will help calm that reaction down and bring balance and harmony back into that area. So I always say, when in doubt, one of my team members came up with the line, if it has a cell, then use the gel. And I love that, because every part of you is made up of cells, and when there's a dysfunction going on, put some redox molecules into it and just see what happens. So ASEA is also for athletes. It's for the very sick and it's for the very fit. So I wish I had it when I was swimming, because it would have made all the difference. Who knows if it would have made me go that 0.04 of a second faster. I'm sure it probably would have, because it's all about the training, the endurance and the recovery. And when you're pushing your body at a huge amount of overload, you're actually burning your immune system off, hence why a lot of people and athletes get really sick. But it's that ability to be able to come back tomorrow and push yourself again and again and again. So ASEA athletes are sponsored with product. They're not sponsored with money. It means that they're given enough product for what they need to actually compete. And they all swear by what ASEA does for their performance and their recovery. Endurance athletes, triathletes, runners, swimmers, snowboarders. We've got a whole range of athletes that are using ASEA. So ASEA and Renew 28 are not intended to prevent, diagnose, treat or cure any disease or medical condition. We leave that to the doctors and the medical system. I don't like to play in the sick world. I play in the health and the prevention world. So if you're interested in taking care of your health, improving your health, staying in optimal health, then you need to take care of your body at that cellular level with the essence of what makes our body tick and stay alive. So as I said, without redox, you're dead. If at 40 years of old, you're starting to decline a little bit in some area or system of your body, then your body needs a boost. It needs extra redox. When you add redox, it's like you start aging backwards. So in our world today, we're seeing kids and you know, adults and parents are suffering with dealing with these kids that have got processing signaling disorders. They come with many names, many types, many forms. They start very early, and they're usually detected around the 12 to 18 months when the kids just don't start progressing on that timeline. So for me, I'm very lucky. I've brought my children up in a really healthy, wholesome home where we, you know, food is very important in our house. There's no white food allowed. The kids eat a range of color. They eat everything that's put in front of them, and they always have. I made baby food right from the very start. When I lived in America, my husband's American, the children were born in the States, and I would show up to mummy groups with, you know, my homemade veggies and adding stock and, you know, all sorts of crazy things that, you know, I would make for my children. They would be sitting there opening jars and cans and going, how do you cook a sweet potato and how do you mash up that? And, you know, things that would just blow my mind, that they have no concept or idea on how to actually feed their child. Well, as a result of all of this, in my opinion, is if you can't feed your child from an early age and get proper nutrition into them, then what the heck is going to happen to them when they start to become 2, 3, and 4? And I've witnessed this. I've followed several children from birth, from my mummy group all the way through, and it's a pattern that's obvious to me. If you're not putting good nutrition and good mind, you know, stuff into your children, then what comes out is some of this behavior. So it's a massive problem out there. And this is a testimonial I pulled from one of our sites of someone that was experiencing this. Now, I've captured parts of this testimonial because it was really, really long, but you'll get the gist. At 18 months, this child was showing some unusual behavior, not answering to his name when called, loss of speech, eye contact, inappropriate play, some repetitive movements, not really connecting with others around him. Prior to this, he was developing normally. At the age of 2, he was diagnosed with a condition that is afflicting more and more children every year. So they did go out and search for lots and lots of treatments, from vitamins, minerals, kinesiology, homeopathy, diet, analysis, speech therapy. People are out there searching and doing all of these things to try and solve a problem. At the age of 4, he did regain some speech. They started to see some improvements. They went through setbacks. They were determined as a family to try and get on top of this. After 7 years of this, imagine 7 years of your life trying to deal with and trying to find an answer to a problem. And they were visiting US doctors, and overarching message remained that they needed to increase their supplementation, which acts to raise glutathione levels in the body. Well, guess what ASEA does? One of their other studies that they showed was that ASEA increases your glutathione and your superoxide dismutase, which are two of your master antioxidants, and detoxifies in the body. It increases your own ability to produce that by 500 to 800%. Now, if we go back to that conversation about synthetics, you don't want to be putting synthetic things into your body because the body doesn't recognize it. ASEA is 100% bio-native, identical, exactly like your body makes, that it's missing. So it's like filling that cup up with the stuff that's missing. When you fill it up, the body can actually detect, repair, replace, and heal. And two of those important things are glutathione and superoxide dismutase. And what it does is it actually helps the body remove heavy metals, which is one of the major problems we're seeing in illness and problems today. So then she goes on and says, one of the jobs of these molecules was to activate our endogenous, which means our own internal antioxidants, such as glutathione and superoxide dismutase, by that 500 to 800%. So they received their gel and they started applying it to the soles of the feet on the first night. He experienced deeper sleep with vivid dreams. After a few days, the gel went on his feet and stomach, and he went through a detox. So when we start to use these products, one of the first steps is that it detects bad cells. When it detects bad cells, what happens is a natural process is it creates apoptosis, cellular death. And when that process occurs on a large scale, we've got lots of dead stuff lying around. What happens? The body has to clean that up and clean it out. When we do that, the clean out appears like bowel motions. It might be sinus congestion or head colds or things coming out of the body. It has to come out of the body somewhere. So sometimes you are going to feel worse before you feel better. And that's called a healing crisis or a Herx reaction or something like that. It's part of that natural healing cycle that the body must go through if it's dirty and it's clogged and it's toxic. So the things that they noticed after this cleanup occurred was that they had deeper, longer sleeps, dreams recalled, calm behavior, no more anxiety, better eye contact, improved social skills, improved speech in pronunciation and words, improved nonverbal communication skills, loss of that occasional repetitive movements, an increase in their grades at school, increased performance in fine motor skills, playing the piano, taekwondo, swimming, focus, digestion, the list goes on. So what you're seeing here is someone actually returning back to what's normal. So you can look at how someone was and how someone is, and you want them to be more sliding to the normal scale, which is what is happening here. And you can see there, the main thing that happened was 6 months after taking this, they went on a 6-week round the world trip. Now you can imagine taking a child that's in this state before on a plane and through this stressful situation, they're unable to do it. So this family was able to embark on that trip and they were able to do it easily. So some of the statistics of what's happening with these signaling processing disorders is pretty frightening. So it's increasing 6.7% every year. In the year 2000, 1 out of 148 children are diagnosed with this. In the year 2020, 1 out of 40 are diagnosed. And what's coming is even more scary. 1 out of 11 in 2040, and in 2060, 1 out of 3. So if you think about how that's going to appear out there in the real world when you've got kids with these problems, schools are actually going to be for kids with problems, with intelligent kids going to the special schools. And that's kind of frightening for me. So why is it like this? It's genetics, it's environmental factors that I spoke about, it's toxins, it's medication, it's heavy metals. We're like toxic dumps. We need to empty this crap out of our system and function so that we're healthy and clean. So there's thousands of scientists searching for answers to these problems. And can you imagine the millions of family members that are looking for answers for their family? Well, the answer right here is with Gary Samuelson. You can go and Google Gary Samuelson Autism One Conference. He spoke at the conference and he explains much more technically and science orientated than I will explain how redox signaling helps the process with this condition. You can also go to his blog. He's got a really interesting and fascinating blog, and he talks about lots of really cool things, including redox. He was the gentleman that actually stabilized the molecules. He's the scientist behind all of this, and he's the only one in the world that was able to do this. No one else has been able to do what he did. So if we take a look here, some people like pictures better than, you know, if they're not in discomfort like I wasn't, you know, how do you know it's really working? So with a thermal imaging camera, you can see the red indicates the problem areas. What they did is they took a photo before of knees, of breasts, of backs and hands. You can see the red indicates bad. Then they applied the Redox gel 3 times within a 10-minute period. So if you have a problem or a discomfort, or you've had some freaky accident where something's not right, or a wound or something, and you keep blobbing Redox in, you're putting back that function to detect, repair and replace. When you do that, that's the body's doctor getting to work internally and starting to heal. Your body's designed to heal and repair, and that's why you have symptoms, to let you know that there's something not right. So there's some really cool pictures that I like. So one of the people I like to follow is Anne-Louise Gittleman. She's a great speaker. She's got excellent YouTube and Facebook channels. She says that ASEA, in my humble estimation, is the greatest advance in lifestyle medicine, which harnesses the power of your own body to keep you well. And Gary Samuelson, he's the guy that we just spoke about. He says this technology has the potential to spearhead the greatest advancement in health that we have ever seen. So like I said, science is important. You should all be skeptical. You should all take a look at it. You should all really dig deep in finding out exactly what this is. When you look and you dig deep, you're going to find the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's with absolutely everything that you look at. I'm presented lots of different things every week. Something comes across my table. Will you look at this? What do you think about that? And I do my due diligence on most of it. Not many of it passes the sniff test for me. But this one is ASEAScience.com. That's where you will find all of the studies, the independent, the blind, the double blind, the medical board, the advisory council. Everything there is downloadable and you can start to read it. If you go on to pubmed.gov, you'll also find lots of information on redox signaling. So I would definitely do that. Another website to look at is theredoxdoc.com. That's an independent doctor. He talks about what redox signaling molecules do. So here we have an interesting article in the Huffington Post, and they said 5 of the craziest game-changing technologies starting to take off, and number 4 is redox signaling. So you can see here it says they've been around for eons, but it isn't until recently that we've learned about their importance in our health on a cellular level. The new technology is emerging that inserts healthy redox molecules into your body, helps to repair and replenish your aging cells. Since we are made up entirely of cells, every organ in the body can potentially benefit from this new technology. So how did it all begin? So this is an interesting story, and you can actually find this video on genesisvideo.com. But Vertus Norton was the CEO of Kraft Foods. We all know what Kraft Foods is. It's got nothing to do with health and nutrition. And he was a strategy guy. He was a CEO of strategy. At 69 years of age, he retired, quite a wealthy man, happy to live happily ever after with his family and get on with life and play golf. He was asked to sit on many boards because he was very smart, and one of the boards was a company that was trying to stabilize these redox molecules. Science and people have been trying to do this for decades because it is the essence and cornerstone of health. Now, when he was asked to sit on the board, he was given a machine that takes salt and water through an electrochemical process, makes redox molecules. The problem was it went back to salt and water if it didn't get consumed within a certain time frame. So he got the machine, he had it at home. He's like crazy scientist in the basement, making his water, drinking his water. All of his friends are drinking it. His son, Tyler Norton, thinks he's totally crazy. And anyway, what happens is they all start to feel better, look better, sleep better. Skin's getting better, they've got energy, and they're going, there's something in this. They're having trouble finding, you know, the solution to the problems of the company. So Vertus says, I don't want to have any more problem dealing with the company. I just want to drink this water, feel good, look good, and, you know, buy the machine. So he went to them and asked to buy the machine. Trouble is, the machine was not for sale. He had to buy all of it or none of it. And he didn't want to stop drinking it. And 6 of his friends were very, very sick in that terminal category. And he was afraid that if they stopped drinking it, what would happen to their health, because they were actually repairing, they were actually getting better, and they were actually functioning like they were when they were healthy. So he decided to buy all of it, and that's when he found Gary Samuelson. And Gary was the atomic medical physicist scientist, And he says through divine intervention, a mistake, and a gift from God, he was able to stabilize these molecules. So now they had a really big problem. They had a company, they had a structure, they had a product that was stable. It didn't go back to salt and water. It stayed in that structure of a redox molecule. So now what were they going to do? It's a marketable business, and the person that you would call in the health industry would be Big Pharma, because they had connections all over corporate America and they knew guys from Big Pharma. So they invited them in, spent a day with them, and at the end of that day, they offered them $1 billion cash on the table to buy all of the products involved with redox, the science, the technology, and everything that goes with it. Now, there was one caveat with that, and that was that they were going to close it down, make it go away, and give them $1 billion cash. Now, for you and me and everyone else, that's a lot of money. It's more money than, you know, anyone could ever really dream about. But the problem was that these 6 friends of his would have to stop drinking it, as would all of the other people that were consuming it as well. And these guys did not feel comfortable in that fact, and so they said no to the Big Pharma, and they said yes to this. So that's why you're hearing it like this, because this product is something that's unique, it's different, and it has the ability to transform the health of an entire world. That's his vision, that's his mission. He's a really incredible, amazing guy, family that I've had the pleasure to spend a lot of time with his son Tyler. And you know, if you really ever get the chance to Google or YouTube Tyler Norton, I would do it, because he's a phenomenal speaker from the heart, and they really are on a mission to change the world. They were not interested in money. This is not about money for them. It's about legacy, and it's about building something that will last and that can change the sickness of the world. So when you look at how you get a product to the marketplace, that was their next problem. Their real problem was, how do we tell people about this groundbreaking scientific technology? In my business for 28 years, it's been word of mouth. You know, I could put signs and billboards up advertising who I am and what I do, but it's really someone that says, go and see Sally. She has this amazing technologies that she uses, and the way she treats people, I think she can really help you. And it's through that referral base and word of mouth. That's how my business has operated in every country that I've ever run. And it's by word of mouth. So if you do a good job, you do it with heart and passion and soul, you will always win. And that's how I strive to be in my life. None of those other marketing channels really, really work. So the ASEA success story starts, and it goes like this. Profitable since the first year. They own their manufacturing. I've been to it a few times now. It's an amazing facility to go through. It's FDA certified, or kosher certified, all of those things that you want it to be in a facility. They have distribution centers all over the world. They're making $500 million in sales, on track for $1 billion this year. Year-on-year growth. And as Tyler says, at the end of the day, it's the people that matter the most. So now I get the opportunity, and one of the side effects is that I get paid weekly. I get paid weekly because I've shared ASEA with friends, with family, with clients. I'm watching them all make a miraculous journey similar to mine, where they've got energy, they're sleeping, they're getting better. And it's happening globally now, and I can't stop it. So I have friends globally from all my travel, my cruise ships, my traveling that I've done. And when someone complains about their health or their energy, I simply share with them a message that I think I've got something that might change the state that you're in, and that can start propelling you towards health. If they're open and willing and want to try it, then I simply provide them the link or the opportunity to buy the products at wholesale price. And with that, they then go about starting the journey with my help. So in doing this and in sharing it with people, I get to travel, I get to meet my friends from 20 years ago, and I get to really see people from all over the world. I'm not stuck in a treatment room. Two of the guys that I have spent some time with are the president and the CEO. And Jaram says, gratitude can turn a sinking ship, can brighten the darkest day, can give purpose to the hopeless, peace to the tempest, and love to the hardest of hearts. And Charles Spunky, really funny, great guy. He says, be grateful for what you have. Work hard for what you don't. Stop complaining, stop wishing, stop waiting, and start working. And I always say on top of that, just start to change one thing in your life. When I started to change, the last chemical that left my house was my hair color. Terrifying on many levels, but so so amazing now that I've done it and I've crossed that bridge, because now I don't have to worry about coloring my hair every month. I don't have to worry about spending money on my hair, $120 every month. And it's liberating when you start to get your own power back and stand strong in who you are and what you believe. Since I started to take that journey, it's led me to amazing places with amazing people. So this was us last month on a trip. I was lucky to get one of the top prizes and take my husband and leave my kids behind and have an amazing week with all of these great people in our team. So we would love you to join our ASEA family, and whoever's invited you here tonight has the information that can get you started. When you join anyone's team, you're part of our team and our family. So I encourage you to really take a deep, hard look at this, because, you know, be careful what you say no to. And I always tell my kids, just say yes, because you don't know where that yes is going to lead you to. You can always say no after you've said yes, but if you say no to start with, then you've just shut a door on something that I would never have had any of these opportunities if I said no and just sat there on that fence. You know, I sat there for 9 months kind of umming and ahhing and wondering and waiting and hoping and would it and could it and should it. And when I finally said yes, now I hear, you know, all of these amazing stories from people that was a ripple effect of me saying yes, and people I will never meet now in my team and my downline. When I hear stories, it's humbling to me. It's like you plant a seed and a tree grows and then the fruit comes and it falls, and I will never probably meet, you know, half of the people on my team, because it's global and it's going in a hurry now. So you have a couple of choices: to be a customer, use it, look good, feel good, sleep good, get some energy. When that happens and you start to move and run, your friends are going to say to you, what the hell are you doing? Now you have two choices at that moment. You can say nothing, be quiet, keep it a secret and just age backwards, you know, watch them get older. Or you're naturally going to say, I use Renew, this is what it is, this is how it works. They say, how do I get it? You've now become a sharer. When you start sharing it, you give them the choice to say yes or no. I don't care if they say no to me, but I really have to tell them about it. It's up to them whether they want to make a change in their life or in their health. And I'm really just an instigator that can start that process. If they shut the door, that's their problem. It's not mine. But when they start to say yes, because they can't stand the fact that you're out and about and you're looking and feeling so good, over time, when they keep seeing that, they eventually start to go, okay, I'm ready. When that starts to happen, you start to earn a little bit of money from ASEA. We all buy the products at the same price. I still pay for my products. It's just that ASEA now pays me an income of which I can do whatever I like with that money. So we've been fortunate enough that we can go on holidays, we can buy new cars, and we've renovated our house, which is amazing. I could never have done that in all of the 28 years that I've been building my business. It never gave me that extra money that I could go and have fun and do these things. So now I live that lifestyle. I work really hard still. I still have my clinic. I still see too many patients, but it's because I can and I want to now. It's not because I have to. And my clients won't let me go, and they have a hard time when I say no. So I still say yes to them, and I say yes to my ASEA family and yes to my family. It just means I get up at 5 and I'm going at night. I just drink lots of ASEA and I can do it, and I don't crash on the school holidays. So I encourage you to think hard about where you're at. But here we have a discovery that will significantly impact people's health. It's a buzzing scientific community that's talking about it. We have it in a model that's easy. It's online. You place your order. You call someone at ASEA. It comes to you. You don't have to go and get it from someone. It will come straight to your door. But the bottom line is, you're on a position. You're in the ASEA family. You earn an income if you decide to share it. You have training, mentorship, team training, Zooms. You don't have to leave your house to go to meetings or events. It's all literally done online. If you've liked what you've heard tonight, there will be a link. It has been recorded, and you'll be able to send that to someone that you care about. So you can make a difference for many people, including your own family, and it all starts with you. So Vertus says we're all at the start of something big with great purpose, and right now is the moment we begin influencing the future. We can change the world. So that's the link that I spoke about. That's the link that you joined on tonight. It's actually at 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. And that's where the recordings are held. So we do this every Wednesday night. It's a different Dymond leader in Australia that leads the call. And I'm grateful you came tonight. I'm excited that you might have the opportunity to start to use it. Just try it. You don't have to join. You're not joining a cult. You're not joining something that you can't get out of. If you don't like it and it's not for you, then it's a simple no thank you, and you can opt out of the auto ship. It's not like you're signing your life up for anything. So you don't have to be on an auto ship. You don't have to join in any of the trainings. If you just want to be well, get well, feel good, sleep good, then just go back to the person that invited you here and they can help you get some product and get started. So I don't know if any of you have any questions, but if you do, there's a couple here in the chat box. Oh, someone's speaking in Spanish. So yeah, people join us from all over the world, different time zones, and if that's all we have to say and there's no one left here that's got any questions, then I will say goodnight. Thanks for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you all at a live event. I will be in Perth next week after next on the 4th of June. So if you know anyone in Perth, then get with the person that invited you. They can give you the details. It'll be at the St. George Hotel. There's also events in Sydney, in Brisbane, and in Melbourne on the 2nd of June. So you can go to a live event, meet some of the people, learn from them, hear their stories, and get started. So thanks for coming, everyone.